It's the day after our Efteling visit and we're just on our way to Bobbejaanland for our final day of our trip.
Hello and welcome to Stasia Travel. So today we are at Bobbejaanland. So it's the second and final park of this particular trip. Yesterday we went to Efteling. This vlog may well come online before the Efteling vlog, purely because they've got loads of Efteling vlogs. I don't know. I've got so much to edit from Efteling, it's unreal at this point. And everywhere else, but there we go. So Fury is the new ride for 2019. You've got a weird setup on that. You can choose whether you're going to go forwards or backwards, so that's going to be quite interesting. I think everyone on the coaster votes, and then the coaster sort of goes with the vote that got the most. Queuing out the front of it. Hopefully it shouldn't be too long though, if it's not queuing inside. So something like a gyro swing or something over there. Yeah, like similar to Loki from the looks of it, but nowhere near as fast or big.
The size. Last strap on as well for jets. This is a lot more spread out than the Skyrocket
Guys, looking forward to Fury?
Oh yeah, this looks great. I didn't expect it to be so tall.
Yeah, it does look taller than I thought it would be, to be fair.
So I recently did one of the premierised Skyrocket rides, and that was really good. So I've got high expectations for Fury.
Yeah.
And that had horrible comfort collars on, and this is just a lap bar. So I'm hopefully it's a really nice, smooth, fun experience, and intense as well.
Hopefully, yeah. So it does look quite impressive. But it should be interesting. It's quite strange that this is like a Gerstlauer. It's quite nice theming. Bits of rock work around.
Yeah, this is absolutely great.
First train out of Fury. Where are they going? Forwards, backwards? They're boring. Now I've got someone going backwards.
Yeah, it's better going back.
The station is quite nicely themed. A little castle. So it looks like there's over there for going forward, and over here if you want to choose. Otherwise most people choose, I guess they're probably going to go backwards. Button on the front of the frame, on the panel in front of them. Oh, my first ride on Fury complete. What can I say about that thing? Going backwards on it. Awesome. I'm so glad that everyone else on our side chose backwards, or at least mostly. Max ended up pressing forwards. Why? Why? I have no idea why he did that. You did. You pressed forwards. You definitely pressed the forwards button.
No, my brain.
Oh my god. That was intense. It was really good. Quite forceful. So forceful back to certain bits. I was trying to put my arms up and then the force of the ride just brought them down. But it's quite scary going back because obviously when you've not been on a coaster before, you don't fully know all the layout. I mean, you can see it off-ride, but it's another thing feeling it for the first time. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. Really, really good start to the day here in Bobbejaanland. Also ran into my friend Mark, who I met at Leesburg. He's here with Coaster Force today. Whether I'm going to be joining them or not later on, I might do. I might join them quite soon. I just want to hammer out some rides now. We haven't got long here today before we have to go back. This looks like it might hurt a lot. I've heard bad things about this. I'm hoping that it isn't as bad as the one at Oakwood, because that would be bad. Nice little symbols everywhere, it's quite nice. Bit of a longer wait than the other one, but it was pretty cool the other one. What did you think of the Fury?
Great, very forceful, very smooth, and had a great hang time on it as well. Really fun ride, very intense launch. When you go backwards, you really get forced forward with your seat. And those lap bars are so much better than the comfort collars and the overhead restraints you get with the Premier Ride Skyrocket. Much better ride, really good ride.
Cool, thank you. Ross, go on then. You know what I'm going to ask you. Fury, how was it?
Don't even bother coming here, there's no point. I'm going after this ride. It's alright.
I hope you're not, because you're our ride.
Going backwards is better, I think, anyway. They're not knowing what's coming.
What's our third coaster? We're really hammering them out today. These are not too bad at all. We're having ride. Nice segment around as well. So we just did Typhoon, the Parks Slower Eurofighter. Now this one is one that I'd heard a lot of bad things about. Ross is taking the piss out of me again. Ross, if you're taking the piss, what have you got to say? Nothing. Dave, do you want to say something about the burst that we just did?
Typhoon, Gurst, yeah, I was expecting Gurst bruising. I didn't get Gurst bruising. That's the smoothest Eurofighter I've been on. I've only been on 2, but saw the ride is a lot more painful than that. You don't have the jolt after the main drop as you get the saw on that half loop that really gives you a bit of a head banging. And you don't have that faulty lock break at the end. So yeah, it was enjoyable. It was good. Got a bit of hang time on there. I mean, I don't really rate Gerstlauer, certainly the Eurofighters that highly, but that was a fun ride. Probably wouldn't do it again, but it's certainly a cred to cred. It was fun, I enjoyed it, but definitely not anything on Fury.
Fair play. I'd say I actually would do that one again. I thought it was very smooth. Despite hearing bad things, I mean, some friends of mine were here literally like 2 days ago, and they were saying that it's one of the worst Gerstlauers they've done, and they've done a lot more coasters than me. But honestly, I didn't think that was too bad whatsoever. It was quite smooth. There was like one bit which was quite funny, because on the ride I was saying to Ross, like, I don't understand why people are complaining about this. Like, it's smooth, it's fine. And then it went round a bit that's sort of like turned like that, at that angle, round where the camera was. And usually that sort of bit is fine on a coaster without any trouble. Like, but that, Jesus Christ, it rattled us there. It's the only bit that did. We've now got a spinning coaster coming up, and I'll tell you what we think after the ride. Bit of a belated review, I know this. Just slightly belated, like 2 months belated, while I'm sitting here editing it. So the spinner was actually pretty decent. It wasn't like an amazing ride overall, but there was actually some really, really nice views of the lake on it. So overall, I thought it was quite a good ride, definitely worth doing. Not the best there, but it was good. Revolution, quite a nice inside area. Quite a nice place where you want to bring a picnic. I might do the virtual reality first time round, just in case I don't get a chance to come back. I do quite like VR on rides. It depends on if it's separated or if it's on the ride, because these guys are going to want to do whatever's quickest. Okay, so Revolution. Well, that was an interesting one. Didn't get a chance to do the VR option on it, how it works with the VR, I don't know, but we just did it as quickly as possible. I don't know if you need to like buy the goggles in advance or anything. All I know is I did see a VR sign as we were heading in for it. Overall, it was okay. There wasn't really anything to shout about with it. There were some cool lights at points. The trains was ridiculously long, like seriously long. Longest trains I've ever seen. I think it's the longest train on a roller coaster in the world, but I'm not 1000% sure of that fact. Probably should have googled that before this review, but meh. I don't sit here and bullshit and pretend to know everything, or like Google everything before I actually do it. Everything that you hear from me is pretty much just what I know or what I've learnt about things. There's not really many places where I bother to find out all of the facts, to be perfectly honest. I know some people are really into knowing this and that and everything about the ride. It's more sort of Efteling that I do that with. That I know my shit. But yeah, Revolution was decent just for an experience to go on to how long that train is, because it's bizarre. It's really weird to think how that thing works. It's weird. But the ride itself, nothing special other than that. So potentially, if you're running low on time and that, I'd maybe say skip that. Maybe do a few more of the interesting flats that are around there. Gorilla thing just outside there looked really cool, but unfortunately didn't get a chance to do that. But yeah, Bobbejaanland has a lot more to offer rather than that ride, to be honest. But it's an experience. Do it if you have time. So Speedy Bob wasn't anything particular to rave about. To be perfectly honest, I don't really remember much about it. Yeah, so nothing really particular about that one. Now, the suspended swinging coaster was actually pretty good there. A real nice, fun family ride. It did take a little while on the dispatching, though, on that particular one. Whether it was typical for that or not, I don't know. They seemed to be getting the trains out pretty quick initially, and then it just, for whatever reason, just slowed down. So it did take a little while to get onto that one. But overall, I think that was actually a really, really good one. So definitely worth checking out when you are there. Up next, first 2 kiddie credits. Although it's quite big for a kiddie's roller coaster.
Papa, het is hetzelfde, nou nog zijdoos. Oh, hier maar.
Gene Catcher and Mark on this done.
You did the coaster count, I think, are you? Yeah.
Just update the coast count, yeah. Okie dokie, I can mark as done.
Okie dokie karaoke.
Okie dokie karaoke coaster.
Are you going to give us a song then? No? You going to give us a song, Ross? What about... Da, 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 da.
Look at the cars, it is that.
Yeah, I know, pretty much, isn't it?
It needs to be on when you're going round.
Yeah, hopefully less races.
Yeah, there's no Chinese clowns on there, so
Yeah, no Chinese clowns. So we just done okie dokie. Pretty damn okie dokie. So that was pretty fast. It had a fair bit of force for a kid ride. The train design was nice. It was a little bit slower the brake run, but you kind of expect that. Oh, that's pretty. I really like this park actually. It's small. And we are sort of like full pelt in it. But I think it's a really nice, sweet little park. In the queue for Bob Express and the Mine Coaster. Again, that's quite a good ride. Not like anything to massively shout about, but there was a few nice views from it. Glad we did it. Glad we did it when we did as well, because so many people decided to join the queue line just after us. I don't know, maybe they'd just come from other rides, etc. Maybe something in the area went down. I'm not too sure. All I know is it just seemed to get really popular really quick. It was quite slow dispatching though on that ride, so it did take a little while to get on, although it did have a pretty short queue. To be honest, the amount of people in the queue I don't think quite justified the time that we waited. We didn't wait a ridiculously long time, it was only about 15-20 minutes, but for one of the smaller rides it is still a fairly substantial wait when the park was quite quiet, other than queuing. Queue for Indiana River is a very pretty queue line. At least in the inside bit it is. Very pretty. Some of us are split off separately now, we're just sort of doing our own thing, but 3 of us are still together. For now. That's nice. Yeah. Such a nice ride station. Like, it couldn't be nicer. It's really, really nice. So we've just done the indoor log flume Indiana Rapids, and that was really, really quite good. The feeling was really nice. You get fairly wet on it, but not like completely soaked. The only bugbear I have with that one is the turntable. Very good. I mean, this park isn't like the worst that I've seen for access requirements, but it's certainly not the best. In certain areas there's cobbled floors and things like that. Stuff to be aware of if you have mobility requirements, or say for example you use a wheelchair. But it's not impossible to get round, but there are a few things that you might struggle with. When it comes to the ride access system here, I have seen a few people come up ride exits and they get on the rides from there, so I'm guessing that there is a ride access system in place, but that it's not overly advertised. However, that being said, it doesn't look like that there is disabled access for every single ride, but there is a large number of them. General queue line, some of them you are standing on steps while you're waiting, for example, that, because I can't remember the name of it. A few steps in the queue line for that, but it's not too bad. And obviously for the log flumes, This particular one, we've got some steps in the queue line, but they're pretty solid. They're not the stuff that looks like it's all over easily. Now this turntable on here looks like it's going to be a lot easier to get on. So although there's probably not any way of doing it via wheelchair access, it looks like if you've got a mobility issue and you struggle getting in and off things like that, it looks like this outside log flume is going to be a lot easier for you to do than the inside one. What this one's like, I don't know. I have seen people going around, it looks like there's been some fairly big splashes. I've seen advertising people to buy ponchos outside, which I didn't see outside the other one. They may well have been there, it may well be that you buy the ponchos here rather than at the other one. So it might suggest that this one's more wet, but I don't know, we'll see. But as usual, waterproof baggies, put your important stuff in it, just saves it like getting all covered in wet. So that'll be a lot easier. So let's see what these guys thought of the indoor log flume. Indoor log flume?
That's really good. That was a lovely surprise. I thought originally it doesn't look like it's going to be too great, it might be a bit tacky, but no, the actual, once you get inside the facade of the building, it's a really fun little ride. Lots of good theming around there, loads of lights in the Inca ruins that you go through. 3 little drops in there, nothing too big. Plenty of splash though, I got soaked. I was at the front though, so if you're at the back you don't really get that wet. But really good, yeah, I'm very surprised by that, I must say.
Ross, any thoughts?
No, nothing to say here.
Nothing to say here? No, nothing at all about the park?
No, don't come here.
No, okay. Even though he drove here, he said don't come here. We found some best Halloween in Belgium. I don't believe that. When was that? 2017. Better than Wallaby, I don't know. This is pretty cool. I quite like this. They've got a little case explaining like their little stuff. Things of right. It looks like they've got some really cool shows here. I really want to come and like see some shows at some point. Like Vampires 4D, that looks sick. That's pretty good, you know. I might come back for Halloween. 15 quid. That looks cool. There's a Wallaby's already on my radar. Maybe Belgium just happen to be really good at Halloween stuff. I want to see these Halloween shows, to be honest. It's obviously where the theatre is. What shows, if any, are on at the moment, I don't know. So we had another one on Fury. This time we decided to go front ways. Like as at that point myself and James had split from the rest of the group, had all sort of split by then. So there was, the others did get a few more rides on it than us, but we wanted to go and check out some of the flats and stuff. Front ways, honestly I actually preferred it going front ways. It was good going backwards, but I don't know, I felt like it was a better ride going forwards. Overall it is a really solid ride either way, and it has actually, I think, made my top 10 unless it's been kicked out by then. I need to like review my list again, it's changed so much this year. I will be doing a new top 10 video soon, but there's so many vlogs to come and so much stuff to say about my new coasters that are #1s and stuff. Oh yes, I have a new #1. Sorry, Baron. But yes, Fury is a very, very good ride. It's definitely worth the trip to Bobbejaanland for it. Go and check it out. So we've got like the youngest ride-off in history. Going around and like taking forever. This kid seriously looks like 10. How old is this child? Like, seriously. mean, to be honest, how many people are going to go down one you've got a choice on to go forwards?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, what's the point? Now, it sucks that you can't actually see properly on the footage how young this kid looked, but I swear to God they looked about 10 years old. Genuinely, all of my students look older than this child, bar about one or two of them who do look younger than their actual age. Yeah, this kid just looks so young. Generally, it was alright. It wasn't anywhere near the force of something like Loki, but it was a good fun ride. You had some absolutely beautiful views over Fury over it, so if for nothing else, then it was worth riding for that. What it would have been like on the other side, I don't know. I did sit the side closer to Fury. It span a little bit, but not an awful lot, so just bear that in mind if you want to get some decent views from it. It might be best to sit off the Fury side of the ride. Overall, it was a fantastic trip to Bobbejaanland. It's quite sad that obviously we only had a limited amount of time in the park, but unfortunately when you're doing these dashes overseas via a car trip like we did on that occasion, thank you so much, Ross. You're a lifesaver for all of us driving us there. Thank you. Then you have a limited amount of time obviously coming back. We could have just done something UK side, which is what we did when we went to Wallaby. That vlog is still to come, by the way. But we decided now we want to sort of see something different we haven't seen before. So we went Bobbejaanland and it was really good. Glad that we went there because it was between that and Bellward. I still haven't been to Bellward. I can't speak for the other guys if they've been there or not, but do hope to get there at some point. But Bobbejaanland, really nice little park. It's nothing like major, but there is a few really good standout rides there. The log flume, to be honest, blew me away. I didn't expect that from a log flume. The theming was insanely good. The ride itself wasn't as good as something like Chapas, but the theming generally was better. Like, it was really detailed, really nicely done. One of the best log flumes I've ever done in the world by a mile.